We're doing a make-ready inspection, and the first thing you want to take a look at is the front door. You want to make sure on the make-ready that you paint the front door. You want to make sure there's no dents, scrapes, or anything around the front door. You also, on the front signs of the unit, you want to make sure that the numbers are clean and the sign's in good condition, as well as the light fixture. Make sure it's clean and it's functioning. You want to also make sure around the entryway here that there's no spider webs or dirt or anything that looks dirty as you move into the unit. First thing the resident sees is the front door, so that's their presentation as they walk into the unit. We're here in the unit and we're going to take a look at the entry door. The first thing you want to do is make sure the door has fresh paint on it. You also want to take a look at the peephole, make sure the peephole is not obstructed, so you want to physically take a look through the door. You also want to look at the hardware here, the keyless entry and the deadbolt. You want to make sure there's no paint on these, and you physically want to try them to make sure they work. Also on the doorknob, you want to pull on the doorknob, make sure it doesn't come unlatched. Also, you want to open the door. You want to take a look at the strike plates. Make sure there's no paint. If there is paint, this will be taken care of during the make ready. You want to take a look at the weather stripping around here. Make sure the weather strip is not torn. It is in good condition. You also want to take a look at the bottom down here at the door sweep. Make sure the door sweep's not turned and in good condition. And then you also want to look at the door stop. Make sure there's a door stop in place. That way, in the event the door is open, it doesn't cause a hole in any wall or door adjacent to it. We're here at the breaker panel. You want to physically inspect the breaker panel. Make sure that have all the screws and hardware in place. You want to make sure there's no paint on the panel. If there is paint, you just need to make sure it's removed during the make-ready process. You want to physically open up the panel, do a visual inspection of the panel to make sure all the breakers are on in the full on position. You also want to make sure there's a description of the breakers in each panel. Then physically close the door to make sure the door physically locks.
Okay, we're here in the kitchen. First thing we want to do is check the operation of our cabinets, making sure that the doors open and close properly. Check our hinges, make sure that they're free of paint and debris. We're going to make sure all of our hardware is secured. We're going to check our drawers for function and also check the hardware. We have a GFCI in the kitchen. We want to make sure that this is working by testing it and resetting it. You also want to check your caulk line on your countertop to make sure that this is a good clean caulk and it's solid. If this does need to be replaced, you need to make sure we remove all of the old caulk and do not re-caulk over failing caulk. We're going to check our oven. First thing we want to do is make sure that it is secure with an anti-tipping device. In this case, it is not, and this will be addressed during the make ready. We're also going to check inside of our oven, make sure that our shelves are here and in place, and that the door closes. We want to check our drawer, make sure it functions properly. We're going to check all 4 burners individually to make sure that they all light and heat up. We want to make sure we have all of our drip pans in place. Then we'll check the oven for the broil and the bake mode. We're going to check our microwave, make sure our door opens and it functions properly. We're going to make sure that our light is in place and working. We also want to check our filters to make sure that they are good and clean and free of debris. Okay, now we're going to take a look at our refrigerator. We want to make sure that our doors open and secure. We want to check our gasket to make sure it is in place, there are no gaps, there's no air leaking, and that it's free of debris. We're going to check all of our shelves and functioning parts, drawers, make sure everything is working. Okay, we're going to adjust our temperature. Want to check the freezer. If you do have an ice maker, you want to make sure the ice maker tray is in place and that the ice maker is turned off. This is a good opportunity to pull the refrigerator out and also clean the coils. Your coils will either be on the bottom of the refrigerator or on the rear. We also want to make sure that we do clean the top of the refrigerator. We're going to check our pantry. We want to double check all of our hardware, make sure it's functioning properly, that there's no overspray. We're going to check our shelving, make sure that it is all here and is secure. And then our door closes all the way. Okay, now we're going to take a look at our dishwasher. We want to open up the door, pull out the drawers and make sure that they're functioning properly. Make sure that all of the pieces are here, including your silverware tray. We're going to close it and latch it. We want to make sure that it latches securely. We're going to turn it on and make sure it comes on. Now, during the process of the make ready, you want to actually run this through a full cycle. We're now going to check underneath the kitchen sink. Again, with the doors, you want to check the hardware, make sure everything's secure. We want to look for plumbing leaks, make sure that there's no sign of water. We're going to check that we have a stopper, a strainer, and a splash guard on the garbage disposal. We're going to check the function of the faucet. If you do have a sprayer, make sure that you test that as well. And we're going to check that the garbage disposal works.
Now we're going to be checking the smoke detector. Make sure that you inspect the smoke detector and make sure that it is working during the make ready process. The battery must be changed during the make ready process, and if the smoke detector is not working, it must be replaced during that time. Also, we're going to move into the fire alarm horn. This one needs to be clear, no paint around, the dust has to be completely removed from there, and the device is in place. Nobody can take it out. Now we're going to inspect the fire sprinkler head. We want to make sure that the head is clean, that there is no damage to it, that it has no paint around the head, and if for any reason the head is damaged or has paint in it, you must report that immediately to your supervisor. Well, now we're going to be inspecting the washer and dryer. First of all, I'm going to check the washer, make sure all the components are working. I'm just going to turn the timer, make sure that the knob is actually operating, and check the knob for the temperature, that the knob is in place, also for the low size. That seems to be operating. The lid is closing and open, that it has the everything in place here. I'm going to take you to the water supply line. It has the hot and cold, and this one's you have to make sure that there's no leaks behind during the make ready process. The drain line needs to be secure. Make sure that it doesn't come up when it's in the drain position, and during the make ready, there needs to be a full cycle run in this machine. We're going to move into the dryer. The dryer, we want to make sure that the door is catching into the lock mechanism, and the lint trap is clean. In this case, it seems to be clean. There is no damage in the inside, that the drum is clean. Make sure that everything is smooth in there. Close the door, make sure that it's locking. Also, the knobs are, not loose or broke or anything like that. The timer seems to be working. Once we run a full cycle, we want to make sure that the vent is venting the way it's supposed to be. The dryer is supposed to be away from the wall, so it doesn't block the vent. In this case, it looks like it is in a good position.
And now we're going to move on to the bathroom. We're going to start in our shower and tub area. We're going to verify that our towel rod is in place and secure, that our soap dish is in place and secure. We're going to turn on the tub. We're going to stop up the tub and make sure that our stopper works. We're going to pull up on the diverter. And as you can see in this case, we still have water coming out of the tub faucet, and that will be something that needs to be addressed on the make ready. We're going to move on to the toilet. We're going to make sure that it flushes properly. And that the seat is securely attached. We're going to verify that we don't have any plumbing leaks around on the floor and the caulk line around the base of the toilet. We're also going to check that our toilet paper dispenser is secured properly. We're going to check the hardware on our doors and drawers and make sure that they are functioning properly and free of debris. We're also going to inspect underneath the sink to make sure that we don't have any plumbing leaks. We're going to turn on the water on our sink, pull up the stopper, make sure that it holds water. We want to check all of our caulk lines to make sure that they are good and clean. If caulk does need to be replaced, again, we do not want to replace caulk over bad or failing caulk.
We are here now to inspect the living room and dining room, and we're going to start with the tile. We want to make sure that the tile is clean, there's no damage to the grout, I want to make sure that the caulking is done between the baseboard and the tile. In this case, the baseboards have been painted and they're clean. And also the carpet here needs to be cleaned, and that will be done during the make-ready process. I also want to talk about the light switches. I want to make sure that the light switches are working. In this case they are. The light here needs to be checked and inspected, make sure that it's clean and that it's working. We're also going to move into the trim around the door. The door trim seems to be in good condition, this one, but if it's damaged, you either repair or replace it. The door seems to be in good condition, it has already been painted, but if it's not, it needs to be painted. The door handle, make sure the door handle is actually latching when you open the door and close it, and there is no paint around the door handle. We're going to move into the wall. The walls need to be painted during the make-ready process, and if there is any damage to the texture, that needs to be addressed during the make-ready process. I want to talk about the outlets. Make sure these outlets are secure and they are working and they are in place, so no one will be able to get them undone. I want to move on to the mini blinds. Make sure the mini blinds are working. I'm going to turn this one, make sure that it's working. I'm going to raise them, make sure that they are going up and down. In this case, this mini blind is supposed to be supported at the bottom. Right here, it has the brackets and it's not in place. And that will be done during the make-ready process. The door, make sure the door is actually latching when you pull it, and that the lock mechanism is actually working. And this door seems to be working. Also, the weather strip around the door needs to be checked and inspected. If it needs to be replaced, it needs to be done during the make-ready process. We have shown you the steps to do a make-ready inspection to improve the make-ready process.